we are into the 19th video lecture of the video lecture series made on the subject of mechanics of solid, whose subject code is ME201, and the topic which we are going to discuss today is the Mohr circle for complex stresses. I am Shri Krishna Mishra, Assistant Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. Now, first of all, before going into the lecture, let's explore the objectives of today's lecture. The objectives of today's lecture are, since this lecture is in continuation with the previous lecture, you can go into my previous last video lecture and you can see we have already started the topic of Mohr circle. Basically, Mohr circle is used in order to find the value of stresses along any inclined plane. For example, if this is a plane, and so for example, if this is an object, and in this object you have to find stresses along any inclined plane. So in that case, you have two methods. You have two methods to find the value of stresses. You have two methods to find the value of stresses, students, along this inclined plane. One normal to the inclined plane, and the second is tangential to the inclined plane. This tau theta, sigma theta, and tau theta. Sigma theta is normal stress along this inclined plane, and tau theta is the tangential or shear stress along this inclined plane. So we have already started calculation of this particular type of questions with the help of the graphical method. Graphical method itself means you are using the Mohr circle method, which you used to generally draw a Mohr circle, in which you used to draw generally a Mohr circle. All right. So again, some of the cases are still left. We have solved the two cases, and some of the cases are still left. So the lecture objective, students, of today's lecture are, in order to understand the graphical method of finding the stresses along an inclined plane, then to know about the Mohr circle, to learn the method of drawing the Mohr circle, and the next objective is to solve numericals based on finding the value of principal stresses by drawing the Mohr circle. Principal stresses, I have already told you, these are the stresses which doesn't have any these are stresses on a plane which doesn't have any shear stress value in that plane. So the principal plane are those plane where the value of shear stress is 0, and the value of normal stresses on these plane is known as principal stresses. Then the last lecture objective is to find the plane of maximum shear stress by Mohr circle. We will also find that if we have traced a plane where the shear stress is 0, then there will also be a plane where the shear stress value is maximum. So what is the location of that plane where the shear stress value is maximum? We will also try to find out with the help of Mohr circle. Now let's move into the discussion now. First of all, as I have already told you, that in order to calculate the value of stress stress acting on any inclined plane. For example, if this is the plane, this is the inclined plane AB. So in order to calculate the stress along this inclined plane, when there is loading, when there is different types of loading, for example, there can be uniaxial loading, there can be biaxial loading, and there can also be complex stresses case, means in which you have shear stress also acting along with the normal stresses. So in such cases you can find the stresses along any inclined plane by analytical method also, and by the graphical method also. In analytical method, we have derived some equations, formulas. With the help of them, we can calculate the value of sigma theta. Sigma theta is the stress along this plane, is normal stress along this inclined plane AB, and tau theta is the shear stress or tangential stress along this plane AB. So by the use of formula in analytical method, you can calculate the value of tau theta, sigma theta, and then the resultant between the two can also be calculated. Sigma r, which is known as the resultant, this was also calculated with the help of formula. And one more thing was there, the angle of obliquity. It was basically the angle between the resultant and the normal stress. So that can also be calculated with the help of formula. Now in the graphical method, basically students, what we are doing in the graphical method, we are making the use of Mohr circle. We will draw Mohr circle. How it is drawn, that I have already told you in the previous lecture also. In continuation with that, I will also solve the cases which are left, and I will draw Mohr circle for them. Graphical method for finding the stresses on an oblique section of a body is done by drawing the Mohr circle. The construction of Mohr circle of stresses as well as determination of normal shear and resultant stresses is very easier than the analytical method. The analytical method in which you use the formulas for calculating the value of normal shear and resultant stress on an inclined plane. And also one more plus point with the graphical method was that it has little chance of committing any error. Now the cases, students, the cases generally the cases to which we come across are, these are the cases which are generally seen. In the first case is just a simple case in which you are having a direct stress acting along only one plane. Then the second case is the one in which you have biaxial loading, means the loading along two directions. The third case is when there is only simple shear stress acting along the plane, when you have only simple shear stress acting along the plane like this. Then in the fourth case, you have a uniaxial loading plus the simple stress. In the fourth case, you have a direct stress along one plane and the simple stress, means you have a shear stress acting along one plane, and along with that, you also have a normal stress acting along one of the plane. And then in the last case, that is the case number 5, which is important and in which every concept will be used, whichever is discussed in the previous 4 cases. That case is the case in which you have the shear stress acting along the plane, and due to it you have one complementary shear stress acting in the opposite direction. All right, this complementary shear stress is due to the law of simple shear stress, due to the law of pure shear stress, that in order to balance a shear stress, you always put a stress in the opposite direction of this stress. So if the stress acting is in clockwise direction, you always put a complementary shear stress whose direction is in anti-clockwise direction. Along with this, you have a loading. Along with this, you have a loading in two direction. You have normal stresses acting along two directions, in this direction and also in this direction. So such cases are the cases which are under the complex stresses cases. So let's see each of this. The two I have already completed in the previous video lecture. By Mohr circle, I have already told you how we calculate the value of stresses on an inclined plane when there is only direct stress along one plane. And the second case also we have discussed, in which the cases of biaxial loading. Now we will come into the case number 3, when there is simple shear stress acting on the plane. Sign conventions were also important in the case of Mohr circle. In the sign conventions, I have told you, generally those values which are above the x-axis, means you have two axes, students. One is your this y-axis and one is your x-axis. X-axis generally represents the value of sigma, normal stresses, and y-axis generally represents the value of tau. Y-axis generally represents the value of tau. All right. So these are the two. All right. Now what we will do, by taking the values, whatever will be the value of tau, whatever will be the value of sigma, which is tensile is considered as positive. So the tensile values, students, tensile values of sigma will be on this side. All right, and they are generally positive. They are generally positive, students, and they are taken on this side. Whereas the compressive stresses values, if the load is compressive load, if the load is compressive load, if the load is, students, compressive load, so the values are written on the right hand side. Generally, the compressive values are taken with a minus symbol, and they are taken on the right hand side of this y-axis. All right. Then, in the case of shear stress, what we will take, the shear stress, if they are clockwise, then they are considered positive. So the shear stresses, students, if they are clockwise means like this. If they are clockwise, all right, they are considered, in that case they are considered as positive, and in that case they are considered as positive, and they will be drawn upwards. And those stresses which are anti-clockwise, those shear stresses which are anti-clockwise, students, which are anti-clockwise, whose nature is in this way. So such stresses, we all know, by sign convention we take it as a negative. By sign convention, we take these values as negative, and they are drawn below this baseline, below this x-axis. All right. So these sign conventions we will use, students. These are the sign conventions you keep in mind. Along with that, along with these sign conventions, the convention for the angle is taken in this way. When the inclined plane angle, when the inclined plane angle, this plane means, if this theta is along the clockwise direction with respect to the horizontal plane, then clockwise is taken as positive, and anti-clockwise, if your plane is not in this way, plane is in some other direction, then that will be taken as negative. Students. All right. So these are the sign conventions which we will follow. Then, after the first case in which the stress was acting along one plane, already discussed, this was the Mohr circle drawn for the first case. It was the simplest of all the cases. Then we have discussed the case of biaxial loading. In this, the load was acting along two directions, and we have drawn the Mohr circle for this. In the third case, we have discussed that if there is only pure shear stress that is acting, then in that case we have drawn the Mohr circle. Now, in the third case, students, one thing that should be kept in your mind is that in this case, in the third case, you can see, in this case you have only a normal stress acting along one plane, and you have a shear stress. All right. And due to this shear stress and normal stress, how we will draw the Mohr circle? As I have already told you, that the steps for drawing the Mohr circles are: first we will draw a horizontal line like this. This will represent the values of sigma xx. Let its name be xx. Then what we will do? We will take a point on it. And we will name it as our origin point O. Then the value of sigma x, which is given in the numerical, we will take that particular value. First of all, we will take a scale. As I have already told you in the previous lecture also, we used to take a scale. Scale represents that how much is represented by your 1 centimeter. So we can take any value. 1 centimeter is equal to 5 Newton per mm square or 10 Newton per mm square. As per your convenience, you can take any value. So 1 centimeter is equal to, for example, 10 Newton per mm square. On the basis of this, if a normal stress value sigma x is equal to 100, this means you will have to draw the 10 centimeter line. So from O, students, you will take the length. You will take from O, you will take the length equal to you will take the length that is equal to the normal stress sigma x, that is equal to your normal stress sigma x, and the point which you will mark on this x axis will be named as J. This will be named as J. Now what we will do, since there is no stress acting along the y directions, therefore means there is no sigma y in it. So directly the center point of this oj, we will find. If this is the center point, we will mark it as C, and we will draw a circle taking C as center, and radius equal to this much, OC. And by taking it, we will draw the circle. In this way, circle is drawn, students. it is not completely exactly circular form. In this way, student, circle will be drawn. It's also not passing. Let me draw the exact diagram. This is the diagram. Now, once again, let me try so that I can get the exact shape of the circle in this diagram. Now, this is the exact somewhat similar, but it is not passing through O. So, let me do one thing. Let me do one thing. Let me do one thing, student. First of all, what we have done, we have drawn an x-axis. Then we have taken a point on it. Then we have, okay, this was your O. This was your J. But one thing you should keep in mind that this process which I have told to you, this will not be relevant if there is shear stress also acting. Before drawing this circle, one step is important that has to be done. What is that step? You will mark the point O. Shear stress is also acting, students, and in the previous case which I have told to you in the previous video lecture, there was no shear stress. So generally what process we used to follow? Generally we used to take a point, origin point O, all right, and from this we have taken the value of sigma x, and this value is sigma x which we have taken, and we have marked a point J. Now after this, if there would have been any other stress, then we would have marked them that also. If there would have been any other sigma y also, we would have marked it here, sigma y, and we would have named it as K. All right, and this is sigma x. Now basically in the previous step, if there is only biaxial loading, no pure shear, no shear stress acting, then we would have find the center of this Kj, and we would have drawn the circle by taking Kj. All right, but here the problem is that there is no, first of all, there is no sigma y, so we will not consider sigma y here, student. This sigma y we will not consider. All right, and after, if we are not considering sigma y, this is not needed here, student. Then in that case, what we will do? In that case, students, we will take a shear stress because shear stress is given to you. Now shear stress along the x-axis means you can see this is the x-axis, and in this plane you are seeing the value of shear stress is, the nature you are seeing is clockwise, and clockwise is taken as positive. So what we will do, students, positive means all the shear stress value positive are above this x-axis line which you have drawn, above this x line. So from this point, from this J point, you will take the value equal to the shear stress. For example, if the shear stress value is 25 megapascal, then by converting it into centimeter by using the scale which is given here, we have taken as one scale, we have taken 1 centimeter is equal to 10 megapascal. So using that scale, it will, we will draw 2.5. How we will draw this? We draw centimeter. This line is basically of how much? 2.5 centimeter. All right. If 25 megapascal is your value of shear stress, and the scale which you are taking is 1 centimeter equal to 10 megapascal. Now mark this point. Mark this point as D, capital D. And in the same manner, we all know there is also some complementary shear stress that will be acting. So what we will do at this point O, we will draw a line in the in the negative direction. Why? Because whenever there is a shear stress acting along a plane, then always opposite to it there is one complementary shear stress. So in the y direction means along the sigma y, which is not available here, we can see there is a anti-clockwise nature shear stress. So at this point O, we will draw a line downwards. We will draw a line downwards of the same length, 2.5. And now we will join these 2 points. Now students, we will join these 2 points, this point and this point. This will provide us, the center of OJ. Now taking center C, we will, and radius CD, we will draw a circle. We will draw a circle in this way. All right. So you can see in this is the final diagram which we are going to make. We will draw a circle in this way. Now the value of theta, the value of the inclined plane is theta, and that is also in clockwise direction. Clockwise means it's a sense as taken with reference to the horizontal direction is clockwise, and it is taken as positive. So here it's also what we will do. We will take, as I have told you, in Mohr circle this angle is doubled. In Mohr circle this angle is taken after doubling it, means 2 theta. 2 theta angle we will take, students. It will be 2 theta. So 2 theta means from where we will take now. In the previous there was no shear stress, so directly we have taken the value from this OCU. But now since there is shear stress, we will take the value from this OE. Let this point be E. We will take this value of angle from this CE. CE, we will keep the protector in this way that its zero line coincides with this CE, and we will take an angle equal to 2 theta. Whatever it is, for example, if theta is 30 degree, you will take 60 degree. And see, after taking that 2 theta angle, you will draw a line. You will draw a line in this way. All right. And the point wherever it intersects the circle, you will name it as P. After this, when you will drop, students, when you will drop a vertical line from this P to this XX axis or this OJ, this length will give you the value of sigma theta. Not sigma theta, tau theta, because it is in vertical direction, and any value in the vertical direction will give you the value of tau theta. And if you have find this, let's name this point. If this point is, for example, Q, so this PQ students will give you tau theta, and this OQ value from here to here, this will give you measure with the help of your scale, and you will find that whatever is the length, that will give you the value of sigma theta. It will come in centimeter, and then again you will convert it into megapascal by using that unit. For example, if you get the value equal to 5 centimeter, so your 1 centimeter, since it is equal to 10 megapascal. All right, so in that case, what you will do, you will multiply your 5 centimeter length by 10, then it will give you 50 megapascal, means your sigma theta will be equal to 50 megapascal. All right, and if you want to calculate the value of resultant stress, then how you will calculate? You will join this P with this O. All right, and this length, this particular length, students, this length from here to here, this will give you the value of resultant stress. This will give you the value of resultant stress. Angle of obliquity you can obtain from here. This particular angle you measure, whatever is you are getting, that will be your angle of obliquity. If someone asks you what is the value of maximum shear stress, what is the value of maximum stress, then you only have to do one thing. You have to calculate the radius of this circle, Mohr circle, because we all know that maximum shear stress is given by, students, maximum shear stress is given by what? It is given by the maximum shear stress formula is sigma x minus sigma y by 2. So basically this sigma x minus sigma y by 2, this formula in analytical method we have used in order to find the value of tau max, maximum shear stress. So here you can see by geometry, this sigma x minus sigma y by 2 means that the Mohr circle is equal to your shear stress, maximum shear stress. Right. So this was the diagram which I have drawn in order to make you explain. This is the diagram, students. I have zoomed this diagram. You can see in the diagram that first of all we have taken an origin point O. Then after from this origin point we have taken a length equal to sigma x, and we have marked a point J on x-axis. Then after, since there is no stress along y-axis, so we have not taken any K point here as in the previous case we have done. Directly what we will do here, there is shear stress, and its nature is clockwise. Clockwise is taken as positive, means shear stress if positive is taken towards is taken above the x-axis. So from J we have drawn the vertical line above. All right, and this is representing your tau xy. Similarly, from O in the opposite direction, we will draw of the same length. Means OE, we will draw in the downward direction, and its length will be equal to DJ. Both are will be equal. Now we will do what? We will join this D with E. We will join this D with E, and we will draw the circle. And we will draw the circle in this way. All right, using CDS center. Finally, after drawing the circle, we will mark an angle equal to 2 theta from this CE length. From this CE, we will have to mark this angle from this CE, students, in this way. And the line which you will draw from this 2 theta angle, this line you will draw, it will intersect the Mohr circle, name that point P. Now, when you will measure this length from P to Q, when you will measure the length from this P to Q, you will get the value of shear stress tau theta on that inclined plane. And when you will measure this value of OQ from O to Q, from this O to Q, this value will give you the value of sigma theta. Shear stress, how you will get the shear stress? When you, sorry, how you will get the value of resultant stress OP? You will join this O to P, and you will get the value of resultant stress. The steps, I hope you have understood. Now we will take a small example. The example is what? Let's read out this example. A plane element in a body is subjected to a tensile stress of 100 megapascal, accompanied by a simple shear of 25 megapascal. So here the values, what are the values which are given to us? We have a shear stress value of 25 megapascal. Let's first of all draw this diagram depicting the normal stress and the shear stress. Since there is only one tensile stress, 100 megapascal, so sigma x only you have, that is 100 megapascal. This is sigma x. Then you have only one shear stress, that is 25 megapascal. So that also we have represented, and its nature is clockwise, So we have represented it in upward direction, means clockwise means in this way. All right, and due to it, you have a complementary shear stress in anti-clockwise direction on the y plane of the same value. Then the angle which is given to you of the inclined plane is 20 degree with the tensile stress. So this is the 20-degree angle. Now the question is asking you to find the normal and shear stress on an inclined plane, this inclined plane. And also the question is asking you to find the maximum shear stress on the plane. So in the same process which we have followed, we will first of all mark a point O. We will take the value O equal to sigma x. We will mark the point J. Then what we will do, since here stress value is 25 and that also in clockwise, so we will take it as positive. We will draw a line DJ equal to the shear stress. Then opposite to it, from this point O, we will take OE in the downward direction and equal to DJ. Then we will draw a line from this D to E. All right, and wherever it is, it will intersect this center XX line. This will be the center of the circle. We will take this center C as the center, and we will draw a circle. We will draw a circle like this. All right, and after drawing the circle, students, this circle, we will take the angle equal to double of this 20 degree, means 40-degree angle we will take, and we will mark from this line CE. From this line CE, students, we will mark the angle in this way, and then we will draw a line in the direction of this given angle, and we will mark the point P as the point intersecting the line and the circle. And from this point P, students, from this point P, what we are going to do, from this point P, we will drop a vertical line PQ. The length of this particular vertical line will give you the value of tau theta. All right, and OQ will, it is very near to each other. It will have a small value of sigma theta. Whatever is the value, that will be the value of sigma theta. All right. In this way, both are calculated. And now if you have to calculate the value of maximum shear stress, then for that, what you will do, you will calculate, you will measure with a scale, you will measure the length CM. You will measure the length CM. CM will give you the maximum value of shear stress. All right. So these are all. Before doing all these things, you will have to first of all take a scale, students. Scale is important. You will have to take a scale. You can take any scale since the values are 125 megapascal. So again, you can take the same scale. 1 centimeter is equal to 1 centimeter is equal to, you can take 10 megapascal. So due to that, you will have your sigma shear stress value equal to 100 megapascal. That means that it is equal to 10 centimeter. And you have tau value. You have tau value given as 25 megapascal. This means that the line for tau you will make it equal to 2.5 centimeter. I hope this numerical is very easy. You try to draw it, you will not find any problem in drawing it, I assure you. Then after students, one more thing. Coming into the next case, in which this is an important case, students. In this case, you have all the values. In this, you have a normal stress in two directions, means you have biaxial loading case, and also you have shear stress acting along one plane, and due to that you have shear stress, complementary shear stress acting on the y plane. So this is a case. This is a case of complex stresses in which you have two mutually perpendicular directions stresses, and also you have a simple shear stress. So we will draw a simple diagram of this triangle in which we will represent sigma x, sigma y, and tau xy in the direction whichever is given. And then we will try to draw this Mohr circle. How we will draw? Again, in the same way, we will take up origin point O, and from that point in the horizontal direction, we will take the value equal to sigma x and mark the point J. We will take the value equal to sigma x and mark the point J. Then after, what we will do, again we will take a value equal to sigma y. We will mark a point from this point O to this K. This OK will be equal to sigma y. This OK will be equal to how much? It will be equal to sigma y. Then after, what we will do, the shear stress value is given and its nature is clockwise as considered from the sigma x value. So sigma x value is represented by this point J. So since clockwise is taken as positive, so we will drop a vertical line. We will drop a vertical line from this J equal to tau xy, equal to tau xy. This dj is equal to tau xy, students. All right. After marking this point D, what we will do, again in the same manner, at from this point K. Now, since there is K is representing your sigma y, so from this point K, you will drop a line in the downward direction, and its length will be equal to, again, shear stress value, means dj value. Now, after marking this point E, you will join this DE line. You will join this DE line, which will intersect this XX axis line at point C. So now what we will do, now we will take the angle from this DE line. DE will be the baseline. DE, students, will be the baseline. We will take the protector and we will mark the angle equal to twice of the inclined angle, 2 theta. And we will drop a vertical line. We will drop a vertical line. Sorry, not vertical line. We will drop a line in this along this direction of 2 theta, and we will mark a point P here in this circle. And after marking this point P in the circle, we will join this P with the Q. The length PQ will give you the value of sigma theta, and the value OQ will give you the value of tau. Sorry, I am writing it wrong. The value of PQ will give you the value of tau theta. All right. And the value OQ will give you the value of sigma theta. For resultant, you will find the length of this OP value. You will find the length OP. For the resultant stress across the inclined plane, you will find this length OP. And if whatever is the value, you just convert it with the help of a scale and you will get the resultant stress. So I hope this process is now understood to you. What we will do now, I do solve numerical based on this complex stress question. See, in this numerical, you can see, students, you have a value of 100 megapascal as sigma y. Sigma x is your 25 megapascal. Sigma x, sigma y, and you have a normal stress 25 megapascal. All right, and its value is clockwise direction. The angle of the plane is 20 degree. The angle of the plane is 20 degree. This is 20 degree. Now, in the same manner, we will draw here. In the same manner, students, we will draw here 100, 250, and 25. What we have done, let's draw by ourselves. First of all, we have taken a XX line like this. We have taken a point here whose name is what? Whose name is origin O. Then after we have taken first of all the value equal to, we have taken the value equal to sigma x, equal to sigma x. This value, this length is equal to sigma x. And we have marked a point, and we have marked a point J here. Then in sigma x, we all know it is given as 250. So by taking a scale, we will draw its length. All right, and the same sigma y is also given to us. So again, from this point O, we will take a value equal to sigma y. We will take a value equal to sigma y, and we will mark a point here. We will mark a point here. This will represent the point K. This is equal to OK is equal to sigma y. Then what we are going to do here, the shear stress value is given as 25. I think so 25 it is. So if it is 25 students, then and it is and its nature is clockwise. All right. So from this point J, we will draw a vertical line upwards. Clockwise is taken as positive, students. So upwards we will draw up a line that will be equal to tau xy value, shear stress value, which is given to you. Then this point is what? This point you can name it as D. This point you can name it as D. Again, you will drop a line from this point K in the downward direction. It will also be equal to tau xy. And the point you will mark will be your E point. Now you will join this D to E. You will join this D to E. And wherever it will intersect this horizontal line, you will name it that center of the circle. And now you will try to draw the circle. In this way, passing through D and E and center C. Circle is not appropriately drawn here. In this way, you will draw the circle. After drawing the circle, what you will do, the angle equal to 2 theta means if 20 degree is the angle, then 40 degree angle you will take. And from this C, you will draw this line. Wherever it will intersect, we will name it as P. Now drawing a vertical line from this P on the x-axis. This particular length will give you the value of tau theta. And if this you are naming as Q, so PQ is your tau theta, and this OQ, this particular length OQ will be your sigma theta. Resultant stress also you can calculate. How? You will have to join this P to O, and this length will give you the value of sigma r. Angle of obliquity, this particular angle will give you, measure this angle, and this will give you the angle of obliquity. This will give you the angle of obliquity, students. All right. So in this way, everything can be calculated. Maximum shear stress will be given by the radius of this Mohr circle. So you measure the vertical length from here. To here. Name it as JKL. CL will give you a value of value of maximum stress. So I hope this concept is now well understood by you. Now sometimes students there might be a compressive stress that may be acting. So what you will do, if you go with the principle which we are following, then you will not face any problem. Like this is another example. In this example, students, the load on one load direction are both compressive. See, the arrows are going inside. Arrow directions are inside in this way. On y-axis also arrow directions are towards inside. Means compressive nature load is acting. Sigma x and sigma y. Both are what? Both are compressive in nature. And also the shear stress tau its nature is anti-clockwise. All right, so everything has been changed here as compared to previous question. Everything has been changed. Now here the loads are all tensile both, and the nature of the shear stress is anti-clockwise. So what we will do, we will go with the same step. What we will do, but only the only thing will be changed is that the origin point at the start we will take, then the values of sigma x is 100 megapascal, and it is negative. Since compressive it is load and it is taken negative, so we will draw this value, we will take this value 100 megapascal, not on the right side of this o origin point o, we will take on the left side of this o point. So means we will take this value sigma x on the left hand side equal to 100 megapascal. We will mark the point j. All right, then the value of sigma y is also 50 megapascal, and that is also negative. So again, this value we will take on the left hand side of this O. All right. Scale we will take in the same manner as we have done in the previous questions. Then we will mark this point K. And shear stress is given to us, and its nature is anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise means negative, negative along the sigma x direction. Now, which is the point which is giving you the value of sigma x? This j point. So from this j point, anti-clockwise, since it is anti-clockwise, we will draw the vertical line downwards, and we will mark the point D here. Opposite to it, at this point K, we will draw the vertical line upwards, and we will mark the point E. We will join this point D to E. We will join this point D to E, and wherever it will intersect the horizontal line, we will mark it as C. Taking C as center, we will draw a circle like this. All right, circle is already drawn. And from now, what we will do, this theta angle is 60 degree, which is given to you here. So how we will calculate? This theta angle is always taken, as you would have seen, the theta angle is always, we have taken from this minor axis point, means this K point. This E point, we have always taken this theta angle from this E point, CE, from this line ECE. We have always compared, we have always taken the value of this 2 theta from this CE line. If you would have seen in the previous question also, from this CE we have taken. So don't forget that particular thing. Don't do this thing that you draw a line through CD. Always it will be taken through CE, and since the value given to you is 60 degree, and the manner will be same clockwise, since it is given clockwise, and clockwise is taken as positive, since it is given as 60 degree and that is in clockwise. So in the same manner we will move from E to this direction, right? And the line you are going to draw CB by taking the angle of 120 degree. This P point, students, is the point which is finally required to be drawn. After this P point has been attained, students, we will draw a vertical line through this point P. We will draw this PQ line. All right, this PQ length, you measure this PQ length, this will give you the value of tau shear stress. But since you are getting a negative value, since it is below this XX line, this means that whatever is the value, you will take it as negative. Negative means anti-clockwise. Its nature will be anti-clockwise. Means generally clockwise you draw in this way. Tau theta and clockwise is drawn in this way. So you will not draw the arrow in this direction. Its arrow will be in the opposite direction. Means shear stress will be in this direction. All right. And also the next value, that is the next value is what? That is next value is your normal stress. Normal stress is the value which you will get. How you will get this? P is the point, the vertical line you have drawn. OP will give you the value of tau, and OQ from O to Q. This OQ will give you the value of sigma. OQ will give you the value of sigma theta. You measure this particular length, and since this is below, this is on the left hand side of O, again this will be taken as negative. Negative means whatever value you are getting, students, that will be taken as compressive, because generally we take negative sign for compressive. We take negative sign for compressive. We take negative sign for compressive. All right. So in this way, students, we will draw a Mohr circle, and compressive means its arrow will be in this direction. Generally, we used to take arrow in this direction. All right, but this direction we will not take, we will take the arrow in opposite direction, in this direction. So I hope you have understood each and everything which I have told to you in this particular uh, uh, today's lecture. Now we will solve some multiple choice questions. These are the multiple choice questions, students. First question is saying to you that the Mohr circle represents, we all know that Mohr circle represents the state of stress at any point on an oblique plane. Then the second question, the radius of Mohr circle is equal to, we all know that radius of Mohr circle gives you the value of maximum shear stress. Moving into the third MCQ, angle theta in the physical element is represented by, we all know that in Mohr circle we take the double value of theta, 2 theta. And question number 4, the x-axis and y-axis of Mohr circle represents, we all know x-axis represents the normal stress and y-axis represents the shear stress. A is the correct answer. Coming into the next multiple choice question, the point of intersection of Mohr circle on x-axis represents principal normal stress because the shear stress at these points is 0. It is correct because shear stress at the point where the Mohr circle strikes the x-axis, here the value of shear stress are 0. Therefore, they give the value of principal stress. So, this is the correct sentence. True. Then coming into MCQ number 6, which of the following circle represents the condition of pure shear? So the condition of pure there will be no normal stresses. Means you will neither have J, you will neither have K point in a Mohr circle. Directly you will get this particular diagram. So A is the correct option. So coming into the next seventh multiple choice question, what is the question? The extremity of any diameter on a Mohr circle, they represent the principal stresses. Just now I have told to you, if this is the x-axis line, then if this is a Mohr circle, students, then this point, this particular point, students, this and this, they give you the value of principal stresses. Measure the values from this origin point O to these points, and they will give you the value of principal stresses sigma 1 and sigma 2. All right. And coming into the MCQ number 8, in two-dimensional stress system, there are, we all know if the in two-dimensional stress system, you have two principal planes. Question number 9, maximum shear stress is, we all know maximum shear stress is equal to radius of Mohr circle. 10th question, maximum shear stress is equal to half the diameter of Mohr circle. Yes, this line is correct. So all the multiple choice questions we have done. Students, I hope you have understood given here. For today it is enough. Thank you, students. Thank you and have a nice day.